And the time is 6:02 p.m. Please note this meeting may be recorded or broadcast at the direction of the board. In the recording or broadcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Now I invite you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll now go to report out of closed session. Mr. O'Connor Ratcliffe.
Thank you. Closed session began at 4:10 and the Board of Education took the following action. On item 2.1A, in the matter of conference with legal counsel pending existing litigation, case number ADR 0401-2022, on a motion by Patel and a second by Couvret, the board voted to approve the settlement agreement. The vote of the board was 5 ayes, 0 noes. 2.1B, in the matter of conference with legal counsel pending existing litigation, case number ADR 0411-2022, on a motion by Couvret and a second by Seitzma, the board voted to approve the settlement agreement. The vote of the board was 5-0 in favor. 2.1C, in the matter of conference with legal counsel pending existing litigation, case number ADR 0420-2022, on a motion by Patel and a second by Couvret, the board voted to approve the settlement agreement. The vote of the board was 5-0 in favor. 2.1D, in the matter of conference with legal counsel pending existing litigation, case number OAH 2021-120771, on a motion by Patel and a second by Couvret. The board voted to approve the settlement agreement. The vote was 5-0 in favor. 2.1E, in the matter of conference with legal counsel pending existing litigation, case number OAH 2022-010774, on a motion by O'Connor Ratcliffe and a second by Seitzma, the board voted to approve the settlement agreement. The vote of the board was 5-0 in favor. Item 2.4A, negotiations, there's no reportable action. Item 2.6A, in the matter of public employee employment, principal, Public employee appointment principal, on a motion by Patel and a second by O'Connor Ratcliffe, the board voted to appoint Ernest Remillard as principal of Westview High School. The vote of the board was as follows, 5-0 in favor. And item 2.6A, in the matter of public employee appointment principal, on a motion by Zane and a second by Patel, the board voted to appoint Dr. Robert Coy as principal of Design 39 campus. The vote of the board was 5-0 in favor. No other reportable action was taken during closed session, and closed session adjourned at 5 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Clerk O'Connor Ratcliffe. How about a quick round of applause for our two newest principals? Congratulations. Let the record show all members are in attendance, and we'll move to item 3.4. Welcome to the public. Ms. Yu.
Thank you, President Zhang. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the monthly meeting of the Board of Education. If you would like to address the board on any agenda item, please complete a speaker slip. All requests to speak must be submitted to the clerk of the board before the agenda items comes up. If you are requesting an agenda item be pulled for public discussion from Section 5.0 consent calendar, a speaker slip must be submitted to the clerk now, as approval of the consent calendar is one of the first items to be up for approval. Item 4.2 is placed on our agenda to enable members of our community to bring items that are not placed anywhere else on the agenda to the board's attention. Speaking time is limited to 3 minutes per speaker with a maximum of 15 minutes per topic unless waived by the board president. There will be a 30-second yellow warning light when time is running out. Speakers may speak on only one item under item 4.2 and may not defer their speaking time to another individual. If there are concerns regarding specific individuals, it is preferred that the speaker refrain from naming them publicly to respect their privacy. The board will accept and review any written materials that would provide more specific information. The Brown Act does not permit board action or extended discussion of any item not on the agenda, but your concerns will be referred to staff. With that said, welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Hugh. Item 3.5, an action item, approval of agenda and agenda sequence. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second? Motion by Ms. O'Connor-Ratcliffe, second by Ms. Couvret. Ms. Hugh, preferential vote? Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 4.1, student board representative reports. And I'd like to call Carlos Valdez from Valley Elementary School to come forward. Welcome.
Hello, PUSD School Board. My name is Carlos Valdez, and I am a 5th grader at Valley Elementary School. I, as the 5th grade Student Council President, will be representing Valley, and I am honored to have been given this opportunity. Let's talk about some of the awards, events, and projects we do here at Valley. During spring break, an event called the Ride Across California, RAC, took place. The RAC is an event that gets 5th graders from across San Diego together, trains for 6 months, and eventually rides across California on their bicycle. The RAC started on the border of Arizona at the Colorado River in Yuma and ended at the Pacific Ocean in Mission Bay. Across 7 days, the RAC rode over 260 miles and climbed over 11,000 feet on their bike. It was sometimes hard, but the sights and the pride made up for it all. We also had a spelling bee at Valley. 2nd graders and up, plus a few 1st graders, took a test, and out of all those students, 30 of them were chosen to compete in the spelling bee. It worked just like a normal spelling bee, and first, second, and third place all went home with a shiny trophy. A few weeks ago, we had a STEAM fair where the San Diego Zoo, Code Ninjas, and many more companies got together at Valley to teach us kids what they do and how it happens. It was informative, interactive, and interesting. As you might know, Valley is part of the No Place for Hate schools, and we have been doing a lot of activities over the last 2 years to keep this title. Currently, we are doing the One Book, One School activity, where every classroom will read Change Sings by Amanda Gorman, which is all about diversity and inclusion. And then each class will do an activity with that book, like draw their favorite scene, take a line and find its true meaning, etc. Speaking about inclusion, the Immigration Lawyers Association did a contest about 1 or 2 months ago, where 5th graders were given the chance to write a poem, essay, or story about why they think it's great that America is a nation of immigrants. 3 of the 3 winners were from Valley. We are always trying to make this school be the best it can be, and we can prove this because over this school year, we have done 3 beautification projects, 2 murals, and we are currently working on creating a mosaic bench. The first mural was made by an artist and includes a tiger and a quote. The second mural was made by students and adults. It was designed by both and includes a landscape with the word hello in different languages. It was the 5th graders' legacy. And finally, the mosaic bench. We students designed this bench, and the adults are helping us make it. We took a plain cement bench and added landscapes and animals to it with vibrant mosaic colors. Right now, the 5th graders are preparing themselves for their promotion, with CASP and iReady testing. But before we become 6th graders, some 5th graders will be playing in a concert. The Valley Band is almost done preparing for the spring band concert, and we can't forget that the Valley Orchestra will be there too. They have been preparing for this all year and are ready to show what they have learned. Thank you, Board, for your time listening to all the great things Valley does, and we appreciate your support.
Nice work, Mr. Valdez. I'd like to now call forward Isabella Dela Cruz Smith and Callie Miller from Bernardo Heights Middle School.
Hi, my name is Callie Miller, and I'm here with Isabella Dela Cruz. We are both representatives of the 7th grade ASB cabinet at Bernardo Heights Middle School and are here today to tell you about Bernardo Heights and everything that we've accomplished as a community this year. First, I wanted to tell you about our staff. ASB just finished Staff Appreciation Month off strong by celebrating teachers, principals, custodians, counselors, volunteers, and other small groups of our staff. Through breakfasts, cards, and nameplates, we made our staff appreciation a top priority. And of course, we can't forget about our health technician, Debbie Sabatini, and 8th grade teacher, Angel Chapman. Mrs. Sabatini was noticed by the district for her hard work this school year. Mrs. Chapman received the James Madison Fellowship Award, which is given to a total of 50 teachers in the United States every year. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you to all staff at Bernardo Heights for your hard work this school year. In addition, our Bobcat family is not just between the bells, but before and after. As a school, we love to celebrate the diversity of all Bobcats. This school year, 23 multilingual students from BHMS worked hard and improved their English skills to meet the requirements to reclassify out of the English Learner Program. To add on, BHMS loves to honor our spectacular student and staff-run clubs. BHMS Drama has put on 3 fantastic productions, and they will soon be performing Into the Woods Junior. Our Broadcasting and Digital Media Club has also done an amazing job keeping all Bobcats informed about the school through their Bobcat TV series. Our band, choir, and orchestra teams are taking a trip to San Francisco to perform. I mean, how great of an opportunity is that? The 8th graders are graduating soon, leading into many well-planned and exciting different events. This includes going to Knott's Berry Farm, a luau with delicious foods, and a fun-filled picnic. The 7th grade class is also going on their field trip, which is to medieval times, to correspond with the unit that they are currently learning about. BHMS Aces is also putting on their first ever talent show. Each Bobcat gets to showcase all of their unique and amazing talents. The sports offered at BHMS would include color guard, tennis, golf, and wrestling. Not to mention, the wrestling team is headed to the Wrestling District Championships. Since the school year is coming to an end, we are preparing for our last event, which is a dance. Our lighted up glow-in-the-dark dance is welcome to all grade levels and is a very thrilling way to wrap up this school year. Not only that, but we have set up an amazing Polar Express themed dance back in January, so us Bobcats are looking forward to this one. All in all, we would love to say thank you to our staff, students, and parents at Bernardo Heights for an amazing school year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dela Cruz and Ms. Miller. Now, Max Hooper from Abraxas High School.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me to present to the board. My name is Max Hooper. We have 2 programs at Abraxas High School, the Diploma Program and the Transition Program. I am a student in the Transition Program. The Transition Program is for young adults 18 to 22 who learn important life skills at Abraxas and in the community. Students in the program are working in the community at 36 different jobs and volunteer sites, ranging from backyard gardens to Walgreens, representing service, restaurants, and retail industries. Students from Transition Program attended to College to Career field trip at Miramar College to learn about classes available to transition students. 2 students are currently participating in Success in the Workplace class. On June 3rd, there will be on-campus vocational seminar for the transition students. Also on June 3rd, the Transition Program will host a Disney Ball for the students. This event is sponsored by the Transition Love Dog Treats business. Weekly career presentations continue to Abraxas students by professionals in the industry. The presentations range from careers in audio visual automation to career in law. Abraxas has hosted esports tournaments with teams Poway, Mount Carmel, Del Norte, and Westview High Schools, competing for the sports in the regional esports tournament in June. The garden program continues to grow and donate produce to families in need, with over 15,000 pounds of produce donated since start of the garden project. The garden provided the venue of our spring fundraiser this past Saturday. Students and staff from both the Diploma and Transition Program helped prepare and host this event, which showcased the garden, the culinary program, Love Dog Treats, and other arts program. The students from the guitar class provided the music for this event. Abraxas Save Promise Club continues to host welcoming events for new students and will be working with the transition team to host the Disney Ball. The Abraxas GSA and Latin X clubs continues to meet and are planning events for later this quarter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hooper. Last is Mia Whitman with RB High School.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. My name is Mia Whitman and I'm the ASB president at Rancho Bernardo High School. With the year ending, students have been eager to get involved with our last few events and activities. From clubs encouraging more community involvement in sports and academic teams, inspiring students to engage in their passions, RBHS has become a school full of life. After our break in February, our Stable Connect class and ASB joined to host our Sophomore Human Relations Conference. This conference brings students together to explore the issues of being prejudiced against people from different backgrounds and understanding that everyone is going through something rough in their life, while also developing their social skills. Students take part in multiple activities that allow them to share their insights and experiences and learn about cultural differences, youth issues, healthy living, and being kind towards one another. Another exciting event we had was our first ever Broncochella. This event was completely new to the high school students, and it kicked it off with a concert comprising of multiple bands, food trucks, and caricature artists. Our principal, Mr. Becker, also played in his very own band called Betamax. Our spring sports have also excelled this year, with every single team working hard together to end the year on a great note. With many of our teams making it to Palomar League and CIF, a win is not what is important, but not quitting and being there for your teammates to push each other a little harder goes a long way. Our dance team also recently hosted Gatsby the Concert with impressive performances from flappers to flips and honored the senior dancers with their last dance. Our improv team also had their last show last Thursday, ending off with a splendid performance because, as people say, laughter is the best medicine. This weekend, RBHS is hosting their 2022 prom at the Birch Aquarium. We are so stoked to bring back this long-awaited dance and make students' dreams come true. ASB also recognized those who have a guardian in the military on April 26. It's important to us that we acknowledge those who serve in the military and those who have served in the past. We also like to recognize and appreciate our staff and teachers on campus. ASB created large posters and posted them all around the school to show how much we appreciate all of our teachers and staff. Not only do we appreciate our staff and teachers, but I also want to thank you for making our school a safe and fun place to be, which has helped us create a positive impact on the mental health of students and as well as amazing culture for everyone on campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitman. This is item 4. Oh, yes, of course. Thank you. Students, you're welcome to leave now, or you can stick around for all of the really exciting business of the board meeting after your reports. Thank you so much. This is item 4.2, public comments. Clerk O'Connor Ratcliffe.
I'd like to call Lanice Sechrist to the podium.
Hi everyone, my name is Lanice Sechrist. I'm a PUSD parent. At the last Community Conversations on Racial Equity and Inclusion meeting, participants were asked, what does courageous listening mean to you? That is the question I challenge you all to think about tonight. I'd like you to listen to my feelings about the inappropriate equity surveys that were scheduled to be given to students this week. Did you read the surveys parents had a few days to review before students were given it? Toothless 3rd through 5th graders who have to be reminded to bathe are expected to know by the 3rd slide if they understand the reasoning behind the controversial survey. Some of the survey statements students are expected to respond to include principals and teachers talk about how to deal with racial issues at school. Sexual harassment is not tolerated at my school. Students pick on me because of the color of my skin, because of my skin color. 6th through 12th graders who have to be reminded to change into their pajamas, wear deodorant, and brush their teeth are asked, how often do you spend time at school with students from different gender identities, sexual orientations, races, ethnicities, or culture? How confident are you that students at your school can have honest conversations with each other about race? How well does your school help students speak out against homophobia? How often do students at your school have important conversations about gender identities, even when they might be uncomfortable? I don't know how the continued obsession with race, skin color, gender, and sexual orientations being forced onto developing minds can make school district employees or board members feel good. Not only was 20 minutes of valuable academic learning and instruction lost, I suspect these surveys confused a lot of innocent children in our very multicultural district. Children should automatically be opted out unless their parents specifically desire them to be opted into these types of surveys, and courageous listening in classrooms where middle school children are forced to hear inappropriate conversations with classmates about the color of skin they were born with or their gender and sexual identity. The PUSD Vision statement is to create culture and conditions to empower world-class learners. However, many parents and concerned taxpayers hear and see a dismissive and biased district that is creating conditions that normalize and authorize division in our community. Continuing to insert critical theory ideas onto other people's children is irresponsible and unacceptable. Instead of denying or lying that this is happening, as folks on this panel have repeatedly been caught doing, y'all need to start listening to parents, stay in your lane, and stop infringing on our rights. That's what I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Next is Janet Latang.
Good evening, Superintendent Kim Phelps, Superintendent's Council, and Board of Trustees. I'm so happy to be here in person to speak with you tonight. Tonight I would like to share with you the many concerts our PUSD students are giving in the next month. This afternoon I did a bit of internet searching and found 34 PUSD band, orchestra, and choir concerts, local concerts I want to say, to be performed before the end of this academic year. I'm sure there are more, such as Into the Woods that was described about Bernardo Heights Middle School. I did not look for musicals, but anyway, today, yeah, okay, Michelle's saying tonight. Anyway, but I did just focus on the instrumental and the vocal programs for this and not dance either. But 34 is a lot, and there's a lot to go see. So our PUSD Performing Arts programs appreciate your support, council support at past concerts, and I know would appreciate all your support at one or more of these upcoming concerts. And so just so you can see, I gave a list to the school board and superintendent's council, a list of 2 pages worth of concerts, which is just fantastic. Okay, now on for thank yous. Thank you, PUSD, for support of the VAPA programs and the VAPA strategic plan. Thank you for hiring Kayla Warren, our new VAPA specialist. I look forward to working with her as a community member in the future. Thank you to PUSD VAPA teachers for keeping your programs going during COVID. Your students needed you and you were there for them. Thank you very much. And my last thank you to the VAPA parents and volunteers supporting your school's VAPA programs by attending and volunteering all of these events. We couldn't do it without you. And I just wanted to share how these VAPA programs make a difference. For instance, I have 2 children who graduated from PUSD and this year are graduating with music degrees. So one in a master's, one in undergrad, and the undergrad's also doing electrical engineering on the side because, you know, that pays the bill. But his tuba scholarship helped pay for school. And then along with the Connect Academy on the front page is this little article about a rather big opera singer, Trevor, who graduated from Poway High School. He tried football with Coach Couvret, not this one, the larger one. Football wasn't for him. Opera just happens to be for him. He found his passion for music through VAPA, through Poway High School. And so these are just a few reasons why I'm so passionate about VAPA, and I appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, and that is our last public speaker.
Thank you, Ms. O'Connor-Ratcliffe. That takes us to item 4.3, an informational or presentation item, Avid 8th grade and senior standouts. Ms. Osborne.
All right, that applause is not for me, but I am so excited. Thank you, President Zane. It is our pleasure tonight to recognize and honor our 8th grade and senior Avid standouts, their families, and their site Avid coordinators and administrators. I'd also like to thank Director Beth Bersick for her support for Avid programs at all of our schools. Avid stands for the advancement via individual determination, and tonight you will hear a bit about each one of our standouts, their personal determination, strong academic performance, and their commitment to learning and their community. We're pleased to start tonight with Bernardo Heights Middle School, Avid standout, Paige Myodek. She is with her Avid coordinator, Denise Flynn, and assistant principal, Crystal Montalvo. Paige is a natural leader who is always striving for the best possible version of herself. She excels at self-advocacy and can step into any leadership role with patience and quiet confidence. Paige not only was an active member of our Avid program, but she also dedicated her time as a member of our Avid executive board. Thank you, Paige, for truly encompassing our Bobcat pride and going above and beyond for others. We look forward to the great things you are bound to accomplish. And next, Black Mountain Middle School, Sophia Ulubina. Avid coordinator, Danielle Reyes, and Principal Scott Corso. Sophia is a true standout in everything she does. Every day on our campus, in competitive dance with family and friends, she demonstrates Black Mountain Middle School's 4 core values: respect, responsibility, kindness, and hard work. She comes to school ready to learn and do her best. While it is always difficult to choose one standout student, Sophia's peers and staff agree she is a wonderful representation of what Black Mountain Middle School Avid is all about. Congratulations, Sophia. And from Meadowbrook Middle School, Bailey Eisenstein. Avid coordinator, Catherine Mellis, and assistant principal, Matt Hunt. Bailey is an outstanding all-around student and a hard worker in her Avid class. She is a consistent leader when it comes to tutorials or work that needs to be done. Bailey is friendly and outgoing and is always volunteering to help others with a smile and cheerful attitude. We are so grateful that she has been in our Avid family this year and could not imagine class without her. Congratulations. And from Oak Valley Middle School, Sanyu Tom Goulding. Cassidy. Sorry. Go back one. Thank you. It takes a village to help Miss Osborne. Thank you. Cassidy Ritter from Mesa Verde Middle School. With Avid coordinator Amy McCoy and principal Kelly Moore, Cassidy encompasses what it means to be an Avid student. She always seeks to help others around her. Her hard work and dedication are noticeable by her peers and teachers alike. When things seem to be difficult, Cassidy does not turn away or shy away from the problem. Instead, she finds the solutions or advocates for herself. Cassidy is a shining light in her Avid class, and we look forward to seeing what the future holds for her. Congratulations, Cassidy. And now Oak Valley, Sanyu Tom Goulding from Oak Valley Middle School with Avid coordinator Sierra Zunis, and Principal Colin Young. Sanyu was elected as the Avid Student Standout for Oak Valley because she is a hard worker who understands the value of making mistakes which she can learn and grow. She is dedicated to her academic pursuits and is always organized. Sanyu knows how to advocate for herself, and she is always willing to help her fellow classmates. We look forward to all the wonderful accomplishments Sanyu is sure to make in her future. Congratulations. And Twin Peaks Middle School, Cameron McMillan. With Avid coordinators Mickey Tatotia and Katie Fixon and Principal Stephen Mills. Cameron emanates the true Avid Ohana spirit at our school. She is dedicated and committed to persevere through challenges and strives to find outcomes where not only she succeeds, but also where those around her thrive as well. Cameron's big heart and smile is contagious, and it warms everyone who has the privilege of being around her. She is always willing to welcome a new friend and encourage an old one to work as hard as she does. Cameron is an incredible Avid standout who continues to work on building our pride at Twin Peaks. Congratulations. And now moving to our senior Avid standouts, we'll start with Del Norte High School with with Madison Rush. Madison is with Avid coordinators Kristen James, Johnny Sajuvia, and Principal Brian Schultz. Since freshman year, Madison has been voted by her peers as best all-around Avid student. She has maintained a 4.0 GPA through her high school while engaging in rigorous coursework. She is a human being filled with empathy towards others and curiosity towards learning. Madison is still choosing between the University of Wisconsin at Madison, Drexel University, or the University of Massachusetts Boston, and plans to major in elementary education. Maybe you can come back. Congratulations. Come back. And representing the Sun Devils, Mount Carmel High School, Aaliyah Thomas. With Avid coordinator Susan Randall and Principal Greg Magno. Aaliyah always strives to do her best in school and challenges herself by taking advanced placement courses. In addition to her academic pursuits, Aaliyah has a reputation for creating amazing volunteer and fundraising opportunities. She is most proud of establishing her own fundraiser to help create care packages for Afghan refugees. She embodies the Sun Devil way, and she is an ideal Avid student, exemplifying individual determination in everything she does. Aaliyah's future plans include attending California State University San Marcos, UCSD, change, thank you, to study molecular biology. Okay. Congratulations, Aaliyah. And representing Poway High School, Ladia Pineda Nicholas, Avid coordinators, Karen Kawasaki Williams and Sherry Lockey, and Principal Richard Nash. Lada is an exceptional Avid student who always strives to do well in school and has demonstrated great personal resilience in these efforts. In addition to her academic pursuits, Laura also serves as Avid co-president and MECHA president. She is kind, personable, helpful, motivated, and proactive. She is deciding between California, it's which one? Okay, she has made a decision to attend SDSU, and she plans to major in STEM. Well done. And representing Rancho Bernardo High School, Angeline Moran. With Avid coordinator Leanne Marshall and principal Hans Becker. Angeline will be the first in her family to attend a four-year university. She is an enormously hardworking and dedicated student with strong interpersonal skills, resilience, and compassion towards others, which will help her excel in college. Everyone who knows Angeline can tell you she is genuine, seeks every opportunity to enjoy learning, and inspires others to be their best. Her future plans include, just checking, University of California, Santa Barbara. Oh, Fullerton, okay. And she plans to attend law school? Yes, okay, fantastic. Congratulations, Angeline. And from Westview High School, Felix Long. With Avid coordinator Jose Lucero and principal Tina Ziegler. Felix has been a model student for the last 4 years. He has a way with connecting to all of his peers and teachers. He makes everyone feel valued and accepted. Felix's unique abilities and personal qualities have also made him a leader in the classroom and on our Avid executive team, where he has been a valued participating member for 4 years. Felix just completed his last term as co-president and will be deeply missed. Felix plans to attend the University of Washington and will major in sociology. Congratulations, Felix. Congratulations to all of our Avid standouts. We're so proud of you. Thank you to our Avid coordinators and our site leaders and families who support these students and their amazing accomplishments. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ms. Osborne. All of the recipients are welcome to leave as well at this time if they'd like, or stick around for the really exciting stuff. Really? No? No takers? No. We love you. All right, that takes us to item 5.0, consent calendar. And I'll go down the dais. Shu, is there anything to pull? Ms. Couvret. Ms. Seitz? Ms. Connor-Ratcliffe? Dr. Patel?
No, thank you.
All right, very well. I'll make a motion to approve on the consent calendar this evening and look for a second.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Stand by. Pardon a little housekeeping there. We have a motion and a second for approval of the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, that takes us to item 6.0, or 6.1, Approval of resolution number 55-2022, entitled Resolution Regarding the Elimination or Reduction in Hours of Classified Positions as contained within Exhibit A and corresponding layoff of classified employees. Mr. Jimenez.
Thank you, President Zane. This resolution is due to a lack of funds for one instructional assistant position, physical education at Garden Road. This position is being recommended for elimination. The foundation this year in planning their funds for the following year did not have sufficient funds to fund this position. The good news, the incumbent in this position, we have vacancies in the very same classification in other parts of the district, at other schools, and the incumbent will be placed with the assistance of our Personnel Commission. Due to the temporary nature of this funding being foundation funded under the Education Code, we're just required to give notification to the employee within 60 days upon the approval of the board's approval of the resolution this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jimenez. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Dr. Seitzman.
Second.
Second by Dr. Patel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.2, approval of new classification and salary allocation for PPMC Registrar and Alternative Programs Data Technician. Mr. Jimenez.
Thank you, President Zane. With an increase in student enrollment in our alternative programs, the Career Technical Education Program, Adult and Alternative Education Departments have a need to establish a registrar position that is designed to perform a variety of network support duties, including student registration, scheduling, and grade reporting for students enrolled in the alternative programs, which also includes independent study, the Poway Home Education FET program, Poway virtual courses, high school summer school, and district-wide credit recovery offerings. This position, as you can see, will perform highly specialized data input and maintenance of student records for the variety of programs, as well as for the Poway to Palomar Middle College High School program. These duties do have distinguishing characteristics from the current high school registrar position that we have in our system, so hence this recommendation is to create this new unique classification to meet the need. The board is asked to approve the new classification and salary allocation that's been approved by the Personnel Commission for this position.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. Is there a motion? Motion by Ms. Couvret.
Second.
Second by Mr. Connor Ratcliffe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.3, a first reading, approval of California School Boards Association Board Policies 4000 series. Mr. Jimenez.
Thank you, President Zane. This evening, as you mentioned, is a first reading board policy regarding employee compensation to ensure that the district is applying the correct parameters for our salary schedules and compensation. This policy is aligned with the California School Board's CSBA template. This is a first reading. It'll be brought back next month for final approval.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion? Oh, the first reading, there's no motion. Thank you very much. Item 6.4, an action item, approval of one-time off-schedule compensation for all contracted employee groups, PSCA, Unit 1 and 2, PFT, APSM, and all district management. Mr. Jimenez.
Thank you, President Zane. In recognition and appreciation of staff for their work during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and for creating the conditions that allowed us to return our students to fully in-person learning, district leadership would like to present one-time compensation to all our contracted employee groups. In collaboration with our employee bargaining groups, the district agreed via memorandum of understanding on the eligibility criteria for this one-time compensation. It will be paid in the June 30th paycheck for employees just in time for the summer recess. The eligibility applies to active contracted employees who opened the school year this year and were employed as of October 2021 and who have worked continually through May of 2022. They will receive a maximum of $1,000 calculated per tenth of a full-time equivalent, or as we say, FTE. Any newly hired employees hired on or after November 1st will receive a $200 flat rate. The board is asked to consider and approve the one-time compensation for our contracted employees in appreciation for the work throughout COVID.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. Is there a motion?
I just have one comment. This is not taking money away from any programming that we want to support the kids during the COVID times. We already have a lot of other programs that we are fully funded.
No, all of our programs were fully funded, and as you saw in our budget report last month, that this was a surplus in excess of what we had left over from our one-time funding.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Ms. O'Connor Ratcliffe. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Seitzma. I'll just say before the calling vote, I appreciate the staff bringing forward additional information when requested and the due diligence on the part of the public, some of whom have been monitoring this issue, and appreciate the follow through in making sure that this expenditure meets the requirements per our external auditor. So with that, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Takes us to item 7.1, approval of resolution number 51-202 entitled Authorizing and Providing for the Issuance of Poway Unified School District Community Facility District number 15, Del Sur East Improvement Area A, Special Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2022, approving the form of a bond indenture, an escrow deposit and trust agreement, a placement agent agreement, a bond purchase agreement, and other documents, and authorizing certain actions in connection with the issuance of such bonds. Mr. Little.
Yes, thank you, President Zane. This evening we continue our bond refinancing efforts, which we began in February of this year, to provide district taxpayers with some additional savings. So this evening staff seeks the board's approval on Resolution 51-2022, which authorizes the district CFD number 15 to reissue refunding bonds in the not to exceed amount of $12 million in aggregate principal for the purpose of defeasing and refunding the outstanding CFD Improvement Area A 2014 special tax bonds through private placement with CN Financing, Inc. And I believe, as Mr. Bauer, who's here this evening, explained at the last meeting, we were fortunate to have had this deal in place over the last 30 to 60 days, given the current trends in the market. By approving the resolution, the board also approves the requisite legal and financing documents, including the bond indenture, the escrow deposit and trust agreement, the bond purchase agreement, and the placement agent agreement. And once completed, as noted, the transaction will result in an estimated $2.2 million of gross savings to district taxpayers over the life of the bonds.
Thank you, Mr. Little. Is there a motion to save taxpayers a gross savings of $2.2 million?
I would love to make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Patel.
Second.
Second by Ms. O'Connor Ratcliffe. All in favor? Ms. Hsu? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.2, an action item, approval of resolution number 52-2022 entitled Authorizing and Providing for the Issuance of Poway Unified School District Community Facilities District number 15, Del Sur East Improvement Area D, 2022 special tax bonds, approving the form of a bond indenture, bond purchase agreement, preliminary official statement, continuing disclosure agreement, and other documents, and authorizing certain actions in connection with the issuance of such bonds. Mr. Little.
Yes, thank you again, President Zane. As shared at the board meeting of April 7th, we have been asked to issue bonds on behalf of the developer Lennar in the not to exceed amount of $15 million in aggregate principal to finance public infrastructure projects. Staff seeks board approval this evening of resolution number 52-2022, which will authorize the sale of special tax bonds for CFD 15 Improvement Area D. By approving the resolution, the board also approves the legal and financing documents, which will be provided to you electronically, required to facilitate the sale, including the bond indenture, the bond purchase agreement, the preliminary official statement and the official statement, and the continuing disclosure agreement. And our municipal advisor, Mr. Bauer, I think is going to briefly review the attachment, which was included with the green sheet, just quickly talking about the differences in today's numbers, which actually are April's numbers, versus last month's numbers, which were March's numbers. Mr. Bauer.
Great this evening, and thank you. And as Mr. Little mentioned, the previous transactions were all done through direct placements, meaning we locked those in and just had to move forward with the transactions. This is not a refinancing. This is generating new proceeds, and that option is not available to us. We're still subject to market fluctuations, which have been against us over the last 2 months. So when we presented this to 10-year Treasury, and that's something I told you all I would always kind of use as a reference point, was at 2.14. It was at 2.79 as of your agenda deadline. It went up to 3.14, and as of me sitting down back there, it was 2.817. So we're very close to these numbers, but if I was here yesterday, I would not be saying that. There's a lot of volatility. But this one impacts what the developer receives. So this one does not have that same impact that the other ones do to your taxpayers. As we move forward, you can see we are generating about 16.143 in total sources when you count par and premium. We are generating a project fund of about $14,553,000. This is about $450,000 less than when I spoke with you last time about this. So you can see how the market impacts these things. So with that, I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Little. Bless you. Is there a motion? Motion by Ms. Couvret.
Second.
Second by Dr. Seitzma. Ms. Yu, preferential vote? Aye. Everyone else? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. The next three items are action items and public hearings. So I will call item 7.3. We'll hear the item. We'll close for public hearing. Take the public hearing, close the public hearing, and go back to, actually, just point of clarification on here. There's three public hearings in a row. Are they all related? Can I keep the public hearing open for all three items?
Two different, all different.
All different. Close, open, close, open, close, open. All right, fair enough. Item 7.3, public hearing and approval of resolution number 50-2022 entitled Dedication of an Easement to San Diego Gas and Electric Company, a corporation, SDG&E, for Power Your Drive for Fleets at Twin Peaks Center. Mr. Little.
Yes, thank you, President Zane. This is one of two easements on the agenda this evening related to projects that SDG&E are working with us to accommodate. Thank you to Mr. Purvis and his leadership, and Assistant Director Oshbach for her help. This one is related, as the title would suggest, to Phase 2 of the easement related to the charging stations for our new electric buses.
Thank you, Mr. Little. We will now adjourn the open meeting at 6:52, recess, 6:52, and we will open the, under what authority are we reopening? As a board again or another
We're
entity?
just opening the public hearing.
Opening a public hearing, thank you. At 6:53. Madam Clerk, are there any speakers for this item?
There are no speakers.
There are no speakers for this item. We will now close the public hearing at 6:53. We will now we vote?
Now we reconvene.
Reconvene. We'll now reconvene the regular meeting at 6:53 as well. Is there a motion for the item?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Ms. O'Connor-Ratcliffe.
Second.
Second by Dr. Seitzma. Let me see if this is a preferential vote item. It is. Ms. Yu? Aye. All other members? Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is item 7.4, public hearing and approval of resolution 49-2022 entitled Dedication of an Easement to San Diego Gas and Electric Company, a corporation, SDG&E, for Power Your Drive for Schools at Twin Peaks Center. Mr. Little.
Yes, thank you, President Zane. As I stated, this is the second easement related to the SDG project. This one, Power Your Drive for Schools, is for public access to charging stations, or charging stations for public access.
Thank you, Mr. Little. We will now recess the regular open meeting at 6:54 and open the public hearing. Ms. O'Connor-Ratcliffe, are there any speakers?
There are no public speakers.
There are no public speakers. We will close the public hearing at 6:54 and reconvene the regular open meeting at 6:55. Is there a motion for the item?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Dr. Patel. Second, Ms. Couvret. Ms. Yu, preferential vote. All in members? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Takes us to item 7.5, another action and public hearing. Public hearing for an approval of resolution 47-2022 entitled Approval of an Increase in Fees on Development Projects Pursuant to Government Code Section 65995 and 66001 and California Education Code Section 17620. Mr. Little.
Yes, thank you, President Zane. This evening, following the public hearing, staff seeks board approval of Resolution 47-2022, authorizing the increase in Level 1 developer fees from $4.08 per square foot to $4.79 per square foot for residential construction, and an increase from 66 cents, that's right, per square foot to 78 cents per square foot for fees related to the construction of commercial and industrial facilities. These rates correspond to the State Allocation Board's rates set in February of this year and are supported by the justification study that we commissioned and attached, and you reviewed, and you'll be approving by approving the resolution. Once approved, the new rates will go into effect in July of 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Little. We will recess the open meeting at 6:51 and open the public hearing at 6:51. Ms. O'Connor-Ratcliffe, are there any speakers?
There are none.
We will close the public hearing and reconvene the regular meeting at 6:51. Is there a motion for the item?
Motion to approve.
Excuse me, 6:56. 6:56. There's a motion to approve by Dr. Patel. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Seitzman. Ms. Yu? All of the members? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. That takes us to item 11.1, first reading, approval of regular board meeting dates for calendar year 2023. Dr. Phelps.
We're asking for the board's approval of the regular board meeting dates for calendar year 2023. This is a first reading.
Thank you, Dr. Phelps. Are there any questions? All right, thank you very much. This is item 12.1, information items, board member reports, and I'm going to, in the interest of time, start with Dr. Seitzma, who is itching to get to a performance. Dr. Seitzma.
Thank you so much, President Zane. 19 more days left of school. So if you didn't know, 19 more days, but who's counting? This past month, I enjoyed many events around our district. To start, I volunteered to serve on the panel to critique the senior Avid college presentations at Poway High. I was very impressed by some of the students' humbleness and candor about their struggles through COVID and high school, the role that Avid played to keep them focused on the big picture, and their hopes and dreams for beyond high school. I was so grateful to be able to attend one of the diversity, equity, and inclusion conversations. I was really bummed that I was driving for the majority of the conversation because I would have loved to take some notes on some of the insight and ideas that were shared by many of the attendees that evening. It was a very last minute thing, but I was able to snag a couple of tickets and have a rare date night with my husband to see Little Shop of Horrors at Mount Carmel. At intermission, we had to double check where we were. The talent and quality of the production was nothing short of what you would see on a Broadway stage. I vaguely recall having seen the movie once upon a time ago. I recommended it to many of my friends that it was the best cheap date night in town. These teens have a very bright future in performing arts. Last week, like all of my colleagues here, we attended the 50th anniversary celebration at Westwood Elementary. There were so many fun things done to commemorate this occasion. I have to say probably my favorite was the sharing of information from the inception and 25-year time capsule and the nurse text data, although I feel the number of Band-Aids issued over 50 years was significantly lower than what it should be. I myself have used 8 Band-Aids for myself in just 2 days. When I received the invitation to, when I received the invitation for the Palomar Council breakfast celebration, I really had no idea what it was about. I imagined something very different. As I neared the address, it dawned on me where the breakfast was being held and that this was a much bigger deal than I anticipated. I thoroughly enjoyed socializing with PTA and school leadership from around our district. Congratulations to all the honorary award recipients and to the Palomar Council for hosting a memorable event. My 10-year journey through Garden Road is quickly coming to an end. I am helping out in as many areas as I can before this chapter of my life closes. This past weekend, I attended the school auction, which was a huge success. And while a couple of weeks ago I was listening to senior presentations, today I spoke at the kindergarten orientation. I beamed with pride as I watched my own son give a presentation and then proceed to take parents on a guided tour through the school. And as Mr. Zane said, he is giving his final performance tonight at his school for the talent show, so I'm going to scoot and go see him. This school year is truly like running a marathon. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel for the 2021-22 school year. Hang in there, and with that, I conclude my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Seitzma, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Miss you.
Good evening, everyone. Happy May. We made it. This month, I had the honor of attending our very own Westview's production of Mamma Mia, where board member O'Connor-Ratcliffe's own daughter performed. And I got to see our very untalented Westview Theater program. When I saw my peers coming out of the theater during intermission and after the show, jaws were on the ground. And like Dr. Seitzma said, I thought I was watching a Broadway production. I'm happy to announce that high schoolers across the Poway Unified School District are being rewarded the State Seal of Civic Engagement. And thank you to Mr. Dave Lemaster and Ms. Beth Persick for their work continuing this award. And seeing my peers being awarded the State Seal is empowering and very comforting to know that we're still continuing that work this year and in the future. And I'm also happy to report that this year my role on the California Department of Education Civic Engagement Committee has established the State Seal in over 70 school districts. And in other news surrounding civic engagement, Senate Bill 955 has passed the Senate Education Committee, which would allow students ages 16 through 18 to obtain a day-long excused absence to engage in civil activity such as voting, visiting their local office, protesting, or shadowing a school district office. It's been a year filled with resilience, uncertainty, and empowerment, and I've been grateful for every moment. And I look forward to my final board meeting next month. And with that, I conclude my board reports.
Thank you, Ms. Hsu. Ms. Couvrette.
I have to make a quick comment about Miss Latang's, about Trevor Homschild, who's going to get his master's at Juilliard. The football bus was singing show tunes on the way to and from games. So we knew it was a tough choice of what he's going to do when they're singing show tunes. But of course, he's like 6'6", 250 pounds as a freshman, so my husband was a little disappointed. But congratulations to Trevor, and his performance on Saturday was amazing. So anyway, I wanted to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. This month, there were so many highlights and so many meetings that I went to, but I just want to talk about the year-end celebrations because we actually got to go in person to them, and I wanted to highlight them. So first is hats off to the transportation team and the amazing Tim Purvis. They know how to throw a party. The whole department has been so amazing through all the pivots of COVID. They made our kids a priority with crazy scheduling and difficult safety protocols. Going beyond the call of duty became the norm, and it was so wonderful to finally be able to celebrate their efforts. Another fun party, as Dr. Seitzma said, was Westwood's 50th anniversary. It was so special to see some original teachers, students, and returning principals. It's amazing in Poway how many parents choose to raise their kids in the same neighborhoods that they grew up in. And I want to congratulate Westwood because they truly are the heart of that community. Another wonderful in-person event was honoring our own down at the harbor this past Saturday. And I have to give kudos to Dr. Patel and CSBA for throwing a beautiful event. And the Meadowbrook Jazz Band was serving up awesome dinner music. And PUSD made a wonderful stance. I wanted to congratulate Ms. Nguyen, Ms. Bozaz, Mr. Cecina, and Ms. Suchek for their well-deserved awards. And the final celebration was Palomar Council PTA Breakfast, which is such a gorgeous setting with sunflowers and balloons. It was wonderful to celebrate the contributions of our PTA and PTSAs. Even if we could put a dollar value on the volunteer contribution, I'm sure it'd be well over $3 million. So our parents and volunteers help truly make PUSD the success that it is. And that concludes, and I'm sure I'll have more parties and celebrations at the end of school coming up.
Thank you, Ms. Couvrette. Mr. Connor Ratcliffe.
I can gloss over a few things now.
Sorry.
You guys have covered it. Now it's great.
I love going first.
That 19 days of school left. Wow. I've been to a whole lot of events this month, but one of the highlights for me actually was the College and Career Fair at Mount Carmel High School. UCs were all there, the local community colleges, private colleges, our service academies were there, asking students who passed by to drop and give them 20, and a lot of them did. I loved that. I got pictures. Fun. We had apprenticeships and career builders there, so it was really great, and to have it outdoors in such a nice venue, it was great. So just quick thanks to everyone involved who helped to put that together. Tierra Bonita's Friday flag, that was pretty fun. That was highlighted by awards from the Yokohama Sister City Society and the Taiko Drummers performance. I didn't stay long enough to actually take their take over a drum like this one, but that was a lot of fun. Westwood Elementary turning 50, again, what a party. I spent quite a bit of time over the past month, too, in an advocacy lobbying role. Dr. Patel and I joined a large California delegation from the California School Boards Association and our California school administrators to lobby our federal representatives in the U.S. Department of Education and our Congress members, Peters and Levin, and the staff person for ISA. We talked to them about special education funding under the IDEA, student mental health supports, and school nutrition. They were very receptive. It felt good. I also spent some time with our California Suburban School District group, and again, on our CSBA, our School Boards Association, regarding this much anticipated state education budget. We should see updates in a week or so. Based on all that, I am at least somewhat optimistic about what we'll hear in the next few weeks out of Sacramento and how that will translate into our district's budget for next year that we get to approve next month. So now I want to quickly go into my kudos, my congratulations. I'll start with students. They are always so impressive, and I know we've already talked about them, but I want to call out the students involved in theater. I loved Westview Theater's production of Mamma Mia. It's already been broken that my daughter was in it, so yes, I saw it 4 times. Mount Carmel's Little Shop of Horrors also enjoyed both of these immensely. Such talent, the actors, dancers, singers, musicians. We had a live pit orchestra at Mount Carmel, the only high school to do that this year. The technicians behind the scenes. I really can't say enough about all of these students and their drama programs. There are some adults hiding back there too. Tonight we're all missing out on a performance of Westview's student-written 1-act and Bernardo Heights' Into the Woods. But we have 2 more days for both of those, so I hope to make both eventually. Staff. I'd like to call out specifically our special education instructional assistants turned classifieds on special assignments. Our COSAs, Nancy Brundret, Christina Abosa, and Alex Hatch. This is our dream team. They've been really busy sharing their inclusion know-how this month. I was pleased to sit down with all 3 of them at a local Starbucks recently for a quick meeting while they took a short break from creating their slide deck of the presentation for the 2-day Mission Possible Inclusion Conference. This was a statewide conference that was online, but they were featured speakers there, talking about how paraprofessionals like them act as inclusion influencers. Their work is unique in the state and probably the country, and our district is the one that reaps all the benefits, so that was amazing. We are also in the midst of staff appreciation weeks for so many different groups of employees who are dedicated to making our students successful here. I want to mention just a few. The employees who make sure that our students get to school safely, make sure they get something nutritious into their stomachs, make sure they stay healthy mentally and physically, and make sure they're supported, make sure they're learning in the way that's best for them. Thank you all. I think I covered a whole lot of classifications of people there, so thank you again. And I'll close with parents. First, the CAC. This is our Community Advisory Committee on Special Education. I've spoken about this group of parents before, but they are still at it. They're always at it, advocating for the needs of our students with disabilities. This past month was my turn to present to them. I think Mr. Zane's next, coming up. While I work to make sure that their input becomes an ingrained part of our community feedback system, they are continuing to work recognizing our staff through the Excellence in Special Education Awards. This year, the CAC received 309 nominations. That is 309 families who felt moved enough to write about a PUSD employee who makes a difference in their child's life. And this can be any employee. Amazing employees, yes, but also amazing families who feel that strongly about thanking members of their child's team, and they are team. So that matters, and I'm really excited to share that information on the winners when they're announced later this month. And finally, the parents who donate their times to a school PTA. The Palomar Council PTA breakfast was this week, and we were all there. Many of their biggest volunteers who really go above and beyond were recognized there, and I just want to note that I understand the impact of your work, and I know that we wouldn't be the district we are without you. So you're always an integral part of Team PUSD. When we talk about you, we're talking about the students, the staff, the parents, and community. So thank you all. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Connor-Ratcliffe. Dr. Patel.
Thank you. Good evening. The number of events seems to be indirectly proportional to the number of days left in the school year, which, according to Dr. Seitzma, was 19. So, and I think we got the list of all the performances, and those are just performances. There's still so many things going on around the school district. This past month has certainly been filled with many events, celebrations, showcases, and site visits. I won't go through all of them in detail, but I'll try to just highlight a few in my report tonight. I also enjoyed the 2 high school productions, Mamma Mia at Westview and Little Shop of Horrors at Mount Carmel. Our students never cease to amaze me by how talented they are, whether it's behind the scenes, in the pit, or in front of the mic. It's just outstanding. I also had the pleasure of attending the Mesa Verde Middle School Jazz Concert featuring 3 of their jazz bands, which is the 6th grade jazz band, the all-girls jazz band, and the jazz orchestra, under the direction of Mr. Robert Resto. The orchestra jazz band was the one that played it, honoring our own from Mesa Verde. So we got an encore performance of that one. At our school sites, I attended the Fraye Flag, that's what they call it, at Tierra Bonita, where they had teacher recognitions, the Yokohama Sister City Awards to students participating in the Japan-based Environmental Awareness Program art contest, the taiko drums demonstration by Naruan Taiko, which is a local San Diego taiko drum group. I also took the opportunity, since I was at Tierra Bonita, to drop in on Twin Peaks Middle School because I was in the neighborhood. So thank you, Principal Mills, for sharing some time with me and taking me around the campus to see what's new. Around the district, I'd like to highlight the College and Career Fair, as Ms. O'Connor-Ratcliffe pointed out. This year it was held outdoors at Mount Carmel High School. The event was very well attended, with over 1,000 students visiting the fair over the entirety of the evening. A notable change this year compared to years past was that the recorded presentations made during the COVID years were made available to this year's attendees so that they could focus their time visiting all of the over 80 represented tables from groups such as colleges, trades, military, and tutoring services. I also was able to attend safety walks just this morning, thanks to Mr. Mizell. There were safety walks with Mr. Tim Ware from the San Diego County Office of Education. We visited Shoal Creek, Creekside, and Morning Creek, and we were able to have the custodian and the principal there to go around and visit the campus and let us know where some vulnerabilities might be and where some really positive works of improvement have been. It was great to attend those. In the advocacy space, I attended the Cal SSD meeting with Ms. O'Connor-Ratcliffe. That's a virtual meeting, where, among other agenda items, we got to speak with our special guest, Assemblymember Patrick O'Donnell, who is the chair of the Assembly Education Committee and member of the Budget Committee. And those are 2 very powerful committees when it comes to public education. In that meeting, we were able to share our concerns and priorities, especially stressing the need to fund the base. With Board Member O'Connor-Ratcliffe, I attended the Coast to Coast advocacy trip organized by CSBA and AXA. In addition to meeting with the Deputy Undersecretary of Education, Cindy Martin, and directors from the U.S. Ag Department and education journalists, we had meetings with our congressmen, Scott Peters and Mike Levin, and a staffer from Darrell Isa's office. We shared with us some of the challenges our districts are facing here at home and advocated for full funding of IDEA, continuation of food and nutrition waivers, student data privacy, student mental health concerns, and asked them to support the Educators for America Act, which would strengthen educator workforce through fully funding programs to recruit, train, and support effective teachers and staff. And it would also help invest in educator pipeline by reducing financial barriers and incentivizing careers in education through grants and repayment of student loans. While this act will not address our needs right now, which are dire, it will help shore up the pipeline. I also attended the CSBA Legislative Committee last week. We discussed new California bills and made determinations on which bills CSBA would support, including those that increase funding the base, specifically support for Assembly Bill 2933, which would address home-to-school transportation funding issues, as well as advocating for school facilities funding through the Prop
Proposition 4 state appropriations limit exemption of the capital outlay to meet the needs of mandatory UTK, which is unfunded mandate, which do have facilities needs, as well as other facilities funding shortfalls that we have in our school district. I'll close with 2 really special celebrations I attended, which were pointed out before, so I'll keep the comments very brief. The San Diego County Honoring Our Own event and the PTA Palomar Council Awards breakfast. I want to close with just recognizing that the people who support public education don't get into this kind of work expecting recognition. However, we know the value of well-deserved recognition and celebration. So it's very nice to see us spending attention and time recognizing the outstanding work of parents as well as educators within our systems. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. I did not go to nearly as many meetings as you did over the past month. I ditto all the comments by everyone regarding the celebrations, the kudos that have been earned at the various celebrations. 2 events I did go to over the past month that were a lot of fun that I think I might have, well, I know one for sure I was the only one there. It was the Sunset Hill Sock Hop. That was quite the event. But actually, there was another event, I think I overheard one of you say you might have been there, but it was the Poway High School Jazz Festival. It was a blast. Like, I honestly have to say, and I emailed the organizers of it afterward. Actually, no, I take that back. While I was in the middle of the concert, I emailed them. In 7+ years, it was probably one of the most fun events I've ever been to. The talent in the district of the jazz musicians is just unbelievable. I'm a regular listener of KSDS FM jazz radio, and so I went in there thinking, like, come on. These kids could be on the radio right now, today, and it was just awesome. Separately, it was an honor to request the inclusion of the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month resolution that was approved in the consent agenda this evening, as well as the Jewish American Heritage Month recognition resolution. And then lastly, I think just out of curiosity and maybe fingers crossed, I'm hoping, because I see Dr. Purvis out in the seats, that he's agreed to stay longer than what we believe, how long we thought he was going to stay, right?
Did you just call him Dr.
Thank you very much. Of course, he's a doctor of transportation. Yeah. So thank you very much. Appreciate it, Dr. Phelps.
We thank you, President Zane. We have many recognitions of note to present to the board this evening. Please look at your board packets for the full description in 12.2. I encourage you to read them. We have a National Merit Scholarship winners, of course, our Avid Standouts from earlier in this meeting, PTA Reflections winners, and more. But in the interest of time, I'd like to highlight 2 in particular. The Classroom of the Future and North Island Credit Union recently presented the prestigious 2022 Innovation in Education Impact Award to PUSD's Career Technical Education Department for its Through the Lens of Equity, Jump-Starting Pathways to Rewarding Careers program. The Classroom of the Future Annual Innovation in Education Awards program honors innovative classroom programs, educators, and students in San Diego County, schools that model the future of K-12 education. The $10,000 Impact Award is given to the program that exceeds all others in its ability to impact students and teachers. With the $10,000, PUSD will expand its college and career readiness program for underrepresented student populations across the district through work-based learning opportunities, work readiness curriculum, career counseling, early college credit, and industrial certifications. PUSD and 9 of our 11 schools, PUSD and 9 of our elementary schools were awarded the 2022 California Pivotal Practice Award, which recognized schools and districts for the implementation of innovative programs and practices during distance learning. When faced with the shift to distance learning in March 2020, PUSD took a proactive, equity-based approach to distributing technology to over 35,000 students, providing innovative and timely professional learning to staff, and providing resources, support, and outreach to families. Congratulations to Adobe Bluffs Elementary, Creekside Elementary School, Deer Canyon, Midland, Monterey Ridge, Palmerado, Tierra Bonita, Valley, and Willow Grove Elementary Schools. This month, our Studio 701 interns produced their final piece of the year. Under the direction of Ms. Peck and Mr. Ross Callan, this episode of Excellence in Education highlights the Conquer Conference, a first of its kind mental health conference for middle school student leaders put on and organized by my very own Superintendent Student Advisory Council.
Middle school student leaders from across the district came together for PUSD's first ever Conquer Conference to increase their awareness on how to combat mental health issues.
Where we created a space for students to talk about it and to share strategies and do activities where it's just more of an open conversation so that we can work on it rather than just brushing it under the rug or, not acknowledging it.
The conference was put on by Superintendent's Student Advisory Council, made up of representatives from each PUSD high school. Organizers say in recent years, following pandemic-related school closures, wellness has been at the forefront of students' needs.
One of the kind of issues we've seen on campuses has been mental health issues, especially coming out of quarantine. So we decided to put on this conference as kind of just a program to kind of solve that.
The conference allowed students the opportunity to open up and ask questions on how to better support their peers and themselves.
I think it's very important simply because I know what it's like to not be included. I don't want many people to go through that as well, honestly, because it sucks.
Students participated in team-building activities to gain a better sense of community and explore difficult topics in a safe environment.
So we kind of broke it down into 3 different activities. So the first one that we started with is just an icebreaker. It was just a balloon activity. And what we want to demonstrate here was just juggling different things. And then the second one's a line activity. And we'd have students stand on the line depending on where they agree with that statement, kind of just to get a sense of what types of issues are facing middle school campuses. And then lastly will be the panel. And that's really where we want to equip these students with the solutions that they can bring back to campus. So not only just being aware of the issues, but really being provided solutions from high schoolers.
The Board of Education sees this event as one of the many ways PUSD is preparing students for their future.
Well, I appreciate the work that the students did to pull this together. It's an acknowledgement that mental health and wellness is a lifelong journey and starts as early as elementary school and will go throughout your entire life.
For the Excellence in Education series, I'm Josie Headley, Studio 701.
Thank you to the interns for making us and our community so proud of PUSD with their storytelling all year long. Also, congratulations to the seniors who are graduating soon and going off to college. We have future journalists and filmmakers headed off to NYU, Chapman, Cal State Northridge, and to just name a few. So good luck to all of our Studio 701 interns. Speaking of awards, I'm very excited to announce Poway Unified's 3 nominations for the California School Boards Association Golden Bell Awards. CSBA's Golden Bell Award promotes excellence in education by recognizing outstanding programs in school districts throughout the state of California. Last year, PUSD won for the category of special education for our Inclusive Practices program. School districts may submit up to 3 entries annually. So our first submission this year will be on equity and access category with our expanded CTE programs for underrepresented groups. Our second submission, it will be in the area of family community engagement category with our community conversations on racial equity. Our third submission will be in the student support services category with our student-led social, emotional, and mental health initiatives such as peer counseling, the SSAC Conquer Conference, Save Clubs, and What I Wish My Parents Knew. Thank you, board members, for your ongoing support of our district-wide programs and initiatives to make a difference for our students, staff, and families. Additionally, we will be nominating our PUSD Board of Education for the Golden Gavel Governance Team of the Year Award. We believe our trustees should be recognized for their exemplary leadership and decision making, especially during the last 24 months as we navigated through this worldwide pandemic. After firsthand watching our board navigate through very difficult decisions, you stayed together, you made hard decisions, but you always kept your focus on what was best for students in our schools and our staff. You always maintained professionalism, you held each other accountable, you held the staff accountable, but you all share diverse ways of thinking. However, you always make the right decision for what's best for our kids in our schools, and that's greatly appreciated. So staff is very excited to nominate this governance team for this very prestigious award. This time of year brings numerous employee recognitions from principal to administrative assistants, food and nutrition, staff to bus drivers, classified employees to teachers. And now more than ever, I hope our community recognizes and appreciates the important role that Team PUSD plays in the health and success of our children in this community. Our employees are 100% the reason that PUSD has remained an innovative leader in K-12 education, even in the midst of a pandemic. So thank you to all of our hardworking employees as we finish out the school year strong. Please know that you are valued and you are appreciated. And this concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Phelps. I feel like we all owe somebody some money now for the nomination.
You did give some money.
That brings a close to the meeting. We are adjourned at 7:28. The next regularly scheduled board meeting will be held on Thursday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. at the Poway Unified School District office. Thank you very much.